Iran did missile tests. They fired off 9 rockets and the Shahab 3, and they have the range to reach Israel, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and some of the other countries in the region. Now, there's actually nothing new about this. We already knew all of this. We already knew they had missiles that could reach those countries, and they tested them before. But they were obviously sending a signal. And what you don't see in a lot of the news being reported about this is why they were sending that signal. They were sending that signal because Israel, just a couple of weeks ago, had flown over Iran and done kind of a little test run to see if they could do a bombing, an aerial bombing of Iran and get back in time. So Israel flexed their muscle, Iran flexed their muscles back, and they said in response to the news here, they said, look, we wanted to let you know that if you attack us, we could turn some of the Israeli cities into a bed of fire, or some colorful language that they love to use. Now, people are outraged by this because Iran did it, but I would like to take a moment out to say, hey, wait a minute. Why weren't we outraged when Israel did the same thing? They didn't test missiles, but they flew what they did was a lot more real, because they flew the fighter planes over Iran, or to Iran, to test whether they could actually do a bombing of Iran, which they might actually carry out. Whereas Iran is not going to start a war with Israel. See, that's the thing. I mean, there's two parts to this. One is that, and the Associated Press story writes about it, and the U.S., without any hint of irony or hypocrisy, says, yes, what Israel did is great, preparing to assault Iran. Iran would dare to counter. They're dangerous and out of control, and this goes to show why they should be isolated, etc., etc. And nobody notes the hypocrisy of that, right? And then the second part of it is, does anyone really believe that Iran is going to strike Israel first? I don't think any rational person believes that. Because if they did, they'd be obliterated. So the real danger here is that Israel or the United States hits Iran first, and then Iran retaliates. So how about we get rid of the problem by not hitting them first? I know it's a revolutionary idea, but we almost know for a fact that they're not going to start a war. So why are we starting it? Or why are we considering starting it? As I read this story, it's absolute sheer madness. And then to add a third layer of madness to it, they talk about how Barack Obama says we should handle this with diplomacy. John McCain says we should build a defense shield over Europe. And then people take this seriously, and they have a real conversation on television. And, of course, they agree with McCain that McCain is tough, and Obama, diplomacy, kind of shows he's kind of weak. But pause and think about that for a second. Really? Iran is going to attack Prague? Iran is going to attack Vienna? Berlin? London? First of all, the missiles can't reach there. But second of all, even if they could reach some parts of Europe, why? Why would Iran attack any of those places? And the only reason why Iran would ever attack any of those places is if we, or Israel, attacks first. And we can get rid of all those problems if we do as Barack Obama suggests and do diplomacy instead of bombings. But of course, if you turn on TV, what you'll see is, analysts and pundits saying, I don't know, look at this, John McCain looking tough, yeah, war, it's awesome. Obama, little fishy, wants to do diplomacy, avoid a war that we would start, kind of crazy. Look at how well the Iraq war turned out. What's he thinking? We live in an upside-down world, man.